Good day and welcome to a pretty much noob playthrough of City Skylines. This is a no mods. Let me look for that tag and add that, shall I? No mods. If you're new to this, welcome. Please hit link, like, and subscribe. I don't know why, just so I can get millions of followers. Uh, so anyway, I'm going to try and build a city without bailouts, without mods. Basically, I have played the game before a few times. I've done abysmally poorly. Uh, yeah, and let's just get right to it. So, again, this audio is just so loud. So, anyway, let's get to it. Let's start with just in and just out. Now, as I was saying, I have played this before. However, which way is the water? Is the water going? Which way is the river flowing? Hello. This is the voiceover part of the video editing chapter. I apparently like to go into sudden silences without explanations, so I'll be doing some voiceovers during these periods to hopefully make the video a bit more interesting for you. At this point in the video, I am busy setting up my predetermined lines of water. So for City Skylines, if you do not know the game, you're building a simulation of a city and you need to supply the city's needs. In this case, water is an essential along with electricity. So in this portion, I'm looking over my options because normally you don't get access to these advanced outlets and things like that. So hence my sudden silence and continued silence in this video, looking over the options. At this point here, I'm looking at that little circle and thinking, is that the pollution circle? Because on the outlet side, you'll have basically pollution coming through. So here I am laying down the lines, putting a little bit of electricity there. These will not run without any electricity. After meticulously laying out the pipes to make sure that they are as straight as possible, given the frame of reference, I'll then go ahead and move to roads, where I will eventually start talking again. Yay me. No, this is not the first time I played this game. So I've watched lots of buffer videos. That does not qualify me to be an expert. Like if watching buffer made you an expert. Now to comment on my commentary. So at this time I'm putting in a traffic circle or roundabout, which a total new player wouldn't know about those options, you know. So you can see I go directly to it, and I do have some idea of how I'm going to lay out the city. I want to avoid future problems with traffic control, and so I've put in a roundabout, which helps with that. And now I'll start setting up the road infrastructure. At this point, I remember that you still need to lay water pipes. It's very important not to forget this in your setup, because when you do eventually get to the point of having people moving into your city, they're going to complain first about water, then they're going to complain about electricity. I think this is going to be a mostly silent walkthrough, and then finally, we reached the point where I realized that I've actually been very quiet during the playing of the video, and acknowledge that it's going to be pretty much a silent walkthrough. That's because I am also streaming this live at the same time. You guys who are watching this now obviously are not watching it live. Now, is that the pollution output or the energy output? Pollution output. Energy output. Let's see. So they're getting power fine. Okay, cool. Let's try this again, shall we? Okay, so I have finally started building the road infrastructure. I'm not too sure what I was thinking as I did this. All I know is that there are curves to try and prevent future buildup of traffic. I'll be removing zoning near the roundabout. Now, zoning is where you zone what's going to happen in those areas. In this case, the green is for human habitation, so there's people going to be living there. Blue is going to be your shops, and then yellow is warehouses, infrastructure, manufacturing, all that sort of things. So I'm obviously trying to keep those things separate. Again, pollution is a factor with manufacturing, so that's going to be on the opposite side of the highway. In this case, I'm now filling up with green people so that they can start generating income, because taxes come into play. What is this? Ah, yes, the discovery of the in-game radio stations and what is allowed for streaming and what is not allowed for streaming. So here we go, experimenting, finding out what it is, and having some fun. Sorry, that's a bit loud for me. It is at this point I begin doing some additional zoning. Blue again is shopping, yellow is manufacturing, so I'm trying to think ahead of the demand. At the moment, the demand is for more housing than anything else, but I'm getting prepared, set up for not having to be reactive, but trying to be proactive in the situation. So we'll get more into demands at a later stage for a bit more advanced learning, I suppose it's called. And here it is where we come to that more advanced learning that I was talking about. So you'll notice a lot of thinking in this portion where I'm going backwards and forwards between roads and zoning. So here I'm thinking, okay, do I grow my roads? Do I start building up my industry area at the moment? However, eventually I noticed that my demand, which is directly underneath that road symbol right there, you'll see I don't have any demand for manufacturing at all. So nothing's being filled up. So I've now taken everything away because it's not doing any good at the moment. So obviously I didn't think about the proactive things that I was just not thinking and just reacting, even after now thinking and trying to be proactive. So that's a funny thing. Talking about learning, for more on learning, this section here where I am busy putting in the housing and new zones for the houses. That was a very good learning experience, a learning curve, but in order for you to see that, you'll have to catch the next video. At this point, we get to an end in my over commentary because there's not much happening in the game. Neither is there much happening when I'm streaming. So I'm just monitoring the city. How is it going? I've checked my water pipes, go to pretty much everything. It covers everything. Now I'm going into and looking at the different information panels as the game pops them up to learn more about it. Normally I just close these things down because we're all gamers, we know what we're doing. We don't want any information or learning of how to play the game. We know how to play games, right? So then I hope you will just hang around till the end of the video. I'm sure maybe I will have some more commentary if I see anything obviously stupid. But please hang around to the end. And don't forget, like, subscribe, follow. Oh, great, something exciting to comment on. So I'm planning the road infrastructure for the future. So I've decided the side's going to be manufacturing zone. Having very much difficulty figuring out why this road is not being placed. Eventually I figure out I have to delete a section of road, which is going to come up any day. There we go. So now that's the problem with curves and having existing roads. If you want to add on or make changes, sometimes they clash with each other and you have to delete the original section. So again, as mentioned before, roundabouts split traffic, so here comes the roundabout and then further road infrastructure. Now because I've started with curves, I'm going to try and put in more curves from the road structure to follow this type of thing. I'm currently also pondering about this road here is basically a main road. So you've got access to the highway on the top there. So you're going to have lots of traffic going along this road. Now, when you're thinking ahead and you want to avoid traffic, all these things come into mind, and especially based on previous experience, you're trying to filter around that. So see how I agonize over each little section of road here. It's quite frankly embarrassing. I mean, do I really have to think that much about it? Obviously I do. And here we come to the result of all of that pondering. We decide on a unique learning experience for the future. You will see why later on. But I've decided on a one-way road. So I'm going to make this a nice one-way main road so that people are only going one way and they're not going backwards and forwards, causing lots of traffic jams and things like that. They've got easy access to the highway. The things are going to be hunky-doring, right? Finally, I remember that these thingamajigans, water pipes, need to be extended in order to prevent complaints in the future. So I quickly extend those and then carry on with building my road. At this point, or is it later on, I realize, hang on a minute, if they're all going that way, how are they going to come back? Nope, not here. So let's see how long it takes me, shall I? Shall I do a count? Timestamp 1805. Now that we've pretty much settled down with the hard decisions, we now decide to expand our road infrastructure in order to build up the area on the left for housing, so that the more people that come in, the more taxes we can make from them, and thereby get the money to then expand and get more housing and get the taxes in and expand, so on and so forth. So it's about this time when I'm trying to go up straight that I realize, oopsie, I've run out of money. So I've, despite my prior planning or attempt at so, I have not managed to get the economy into a state of liquidity to carry on with my expansion. So now I'm just sitting around looking at existing pipes, how much money do I have, and then thinking, now what the heck can I do? What is there to do except wait to get more money? You can see there's a little income tab, so I need to get as many people in as possible and have them generating money. So we sit and wait.
Last year, Horse Economy 3 smashed PC sales records and took the industry by storm. Now, the hit Equine Economic Simulator has a new expansion that delves into the cutthroat world of real estate. Horse Economy 3 Stable Markets. Can you work your way from lowly horse to be the head of a major real estate empire? Can you spin your holdings into a billion-dollar conglomerate? Can you work your way under the fence and out of your pen and onto your life as a property mogul? Spreadsheets have never been hotter. Pre-order now and get a free horse hat. Horse Economy 3 Stable Markets. Buy low, sell hay.
Welcome back. I'm Panem Public Service Askelin, a nickname I got in my youth when I was just part of the public service revolution. My home country used to have serious restrictions on freedom of speech. When democracy finally came, other forces took control over the
Now, at this
broadcasting
point, you
channels.
might be wondering
I
why I
started to
waited
imagine
so
where some
long
deep state
to fill
spies
in. I
lurking
mean, I
behind
already had
my news network,
a
determined to
road there,
suppress
right?
my
So
voice
people could
and
have been coming
silence.
in.
It was very
Well, I
successful.
waited because of the
Today's
problem of
public service
electricity.
channel
Without having them
reaches
fill
every
up from the
network on
top,
Earth.
there wouldn't have been
And
any
it's amazing.
electricity going down to the bottom. And then here we find loans. So if I had filled up in the first place, they would have come in, I would have earned something, I would have gotten to the loans immediately, and I would have saved a little bit of time. Loans are very helpful in the game. They help you expand a bit faster, but they're tricky things because they get paid off on a weekly basis in your economy tab. So at this point, I just do some normal stuff and carry on, and this is the end of the voiceovers completely. Enjoy to the end of the video, guys. Thank you very much. think that's a nice point to save. Stable. So currently the city is stable. Thank you very much for those who are watching. If you haven't yet, please do a like, subscribe. I can't guarantee when the next content will be out, but hopefully it'll be soon. And enjoy the lockdown. Goodbye.